After the highs of the last race, Caterham were brought back down to earth, with Marcus Ericsson qualifying in last position and Kobayashi starting in 18th. You also had poor qualifying for Maldonado, who lines up in 21st position, with his teammate Grosjean starting in 16th. It was a rather poor session for the two Saubers. Sotil lines up in 20th and Gutierrez in 17th position. Mauritius qualified in 19th with Chilton, and Bianchi qualified in 14th position. Toro Rosso are once again off the pace, with Verne starting in 15th, directly behind his teammate Kvyat, who will start in 13th for the race. Jenson Button lines up 8th for the race, where his teammate Magnussen will start in P11. Perez got his best qualifying of the season so far in 10th place, but was still bested by his teammate Hülkenberg, who will start in P7. Sebastian Vettel will no doubt be frustrated that he could only qualify in P12, assuming his teammate Ricciardo qualified in a strong 5th position. Raikkonen lines up in a strong 4th position with his teammate Alonso all the way down in P9. With a strong qualifying from both the Williams, as Massa lines up in 6th with his teammate Valtteri Bottas starting in 3rd position. Once again, it was another Mercedes front row lockout, but Lewis will be less than happy at being almost 7 tenths slower than his teammate Nico Rosberg. Hello and welcome, Tyro here. You can join me for round 8 of the F1 2014 season. Last part to go out underway in a second, another Mercedes front row lockout, and looks to be a completely dry race, so see what happens. Any moment now, lights will be going out. And lights out and away we go. Rosberg doesn't look to have got the best start. Shaking pole yesterday. Perez with a massive dive up the inside there. That's how Hamilton leads out of turn 1. No one looks to have got away cleanly at the back. So Hamilton, Rosberg's down to 3rd actually. Rosberg 3rd. I believe that's Ricciardo in 4th. Hülkenberg 5th. Raikkonen 6th. Perez having a strong race up to 7th. Looking to make up the inside of Raikkonen and takes his position. Bianchi looking to make a move on one of the McLarens. And Vettel, after his poor qualifying, is not going to be satisfied with where he currently is in this race. And now Hülkenberg is looking to make a move on Ricciardo and Rosberg as Hamilton comes into the pits. Does Hamilton have a puncture? Okay, now Bottas is coming to the pits as well. Hülkenberg isn't. Rosberg is. Alonso doesn't. Raikkonen does. One of the Williams and one of the McLarens does as well. And that's Massa into the pits. Okay, so Rosberg has a puncture. Rosberg actually has a puncture. I think Pirelli definitely needs to look into their tyres if half the grid pretty much has to make a stop on the first lap. If half the grid has to stop on the first lap, Pirelli definitely needs to have a look at their tyres. We can't have half the grid getting punctures every lap. So that means they've all got to fight their way back through the field now and try and get back up to the front, and now it's actually a Force India 1-2 with Perez actually leading from Hülkenberg in 2nd, Ricciardo 3rd, Alonso in 4th, one of the McLarens in 5th, Bianchi's now 6th, Gutierrez 7th, Vettel 8th, Chilton 9th, and I think that's Kvyat in 10th. VJ Muddy's going to be loving this, having his 2 cars up at the front of this race, and it's actually legit as well, seeing what the other cars had to make a pit stop. Now we'll just be hoping that they don't end up getting punctures like the other half of the grid did. Now Hülkenberg looks to have got a pretty good exit out of that corner. Looks to make a run on Perez, trying to tap out the lead of this race. Going to look to the inside. Right, outbrakes Perez, but Perez keeps nosing around the outside. Goes a bit off track, but Perez looks to have kept the position for now. But can Hülkenberg come back with the DRS? And can Ricciardo get involved in this? Now Hülkenberg looks to the inside and takes first place in this race. Alonso waiting just behind if these three ahead start squabbling for the lead. So Massa's now last, with Jensen Button, Raikkonen, Rosberg, Bottas. Hamilton's just about caught up to the train of the back marker cars. Now Verne is actually still stuck behind one of the Lotuses, actually both the Lotuses and a Caterham. Caterham's shows a pretty decent race pace, not as good as Kobayashi showed in Canada, but this is more of a power track, so it's still good from the Caterhams with that Renault engine they have. Hamilton's caught up to the back of this train now. This is just costing him so much time, being stuck here behind all these. As Hulkenberg continues to lead from Perez, Alonso got up to 3rd, Ricciardo's down to 4th, Magnussen's 5th, Vettel's 6th, Bianchi 7th, Gutierrez 8th, Kvyat 9th, and the battle for 10th between Chilton and Kobayashi. Kobayashi likes to hold it around the outside. That's not just Kobayashi pulling off those moves that he's famed for, really, just going for overtakes and no one else would ever would, and then somehow pulling them off. But Chilton looking back down the inside, going around the final corner. Now with the DRS, can he make a move back past Kobayashi? Both get a bit of overstay on the exit, and it looks like Kobayashi's going to hold position for now. There's now Sutil, I believe that is, looks to the inside but can't make anything of it. Yellow flag's up ahead and one of the Rebels gone off the track. I believe that Sebastian Vettel's off the track. And now he's going to drop all the way down to the back of this queue. And now demotes, he's now pretty much last. He might actually end up being last and then gets a tag from the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen. So it looks like Hulkenberg's coming to the pits this lap along with Alonso and Ricciardo. So this will give Perez the lead. Now what do these all go on to, what times do these all go on? Austria should be a 2-stop. So options for Alonso, who actually gets held for Ricciardo. So Alonso is back down to a net 4th place. All these ones that look like they're doing a 3-stop, as they all pretty much had punctures on the first lap. Now Alonso's going to come out behind, feed in behind Vettel. Now Bottas can look to make a move on Alonso. I think he's going to make a dive actually. You're going to get a Vettel as well? Not quite. And Hulkenberg's come out ahead of this battle here, which is going to give him a bit of an advantage as these guys are all scrapping away with the ones who stopped on the first lap. That gap that Hulkenberg had saved him from that. And now here's Rosberg stuck behind the Caterham of Marcus Ericsson. Now looking to the outside and makes the move stick as one of the Lotuses now comes into the pits. And now the 14 of Hulkenberg looks to make the move on Verne. Can he get Ericsson as well, or is Ericsson just a bit too far ahead? I'm going to get run at Ericsson here. Ericsson gives a bit of a squeeze there, which he has every right to do. I'm going to go 3 wide further back. Can they all get around this corner? Pretty much. Now Perez looks to make a move on one of the Ferraris of Alonso and gets the position. Button and Massa still at the back of this race, as Bianchi now actually leads this race, with Gutierrez second, Rosberg in third. Actually, it's Hamilton in third, sorry. As Gutierrez actually comes into the pits, even though he's starting on prime tyres, so that's going to give Bianchi the lead of this race. As Rosberg also comes into the pit, so he's surely going to have to double stack behind Hamilton. This is almost reminiscent of Indianapolis. I think it was 2002, where all the Michelin runners couldn't actually race because the tyres was literally exploded after about 6 laps. That's pretty much what's happening here, as both the Mercedes once again have to make a very early second pit stop along with the rest of the grid as well. Something Pirelli definitely need to look at before we come to the next race, or before we even come back to Austria next year. As Rosberg just comes out ahead of this queue right behind him, as Sotil looks to make a move on Rosberg, sticks his nose in, but nothing can come of it. As Massa finally make a move on Button. Button's holding it around the outside though, and keeps the position for now. Now Massa looks to make another move, as Button gets boxed in behind the Lotus, and Massa takes that position. Button looking to hold it round down to the inside. Still side by side. This is purely just for pride. There's no way these two are getting points from this race. Oh, someone's engine looks to have... You've seen how Caterham's engine just blew up around the final corner. I believe that was Ericsson. And Massa's actually got, in all of that, Massa's got ahead of the Lotus and Jenson Button. But was there yellow flags there though? I can't know on that one. Now Vettel looks to make a move on Raikkonen. Can't quite get it. Can you get him down with the DRS here? Barges his way past, still side by side. Raikkonen hold it down the inside? Yes, you can. With one of the Mercedes coming up, actually makes contact there with Max Chilton. See there, Rosberg impatient to get past. Looks like Jules Bianchi that is actually. Now Bianchi with DRS. Can actually try and make a move back on the Mercedes? No, Mercedes just got too much straight line speed. Alonso, Perez, Magnussen, Ricciardo, with Hülkenberg has a pretty convincing lead at this stage of the race. Well, Perez looking to make a move, potentially on Magnussen, with Raikkonen, with Alonso right behind. There's Alonso right behind, just waiting in the wings. And now it's going to be Rosberg's turn to get past one of the Saubers. And he makes an easy move into turn 1. Now as Vettel looks to make a move past Bianchi. And makes the move. And can Bianchi come back? He's going to try it. Makes the move into the hairpin, does he? Shows his nose, but nothing can come of it. Massa's finally just caught up to the back markers. Showing how poor luck Massa's having this season. 2 DNFs, now stuck at the back. So that's Hülkenberg. Actually, that's Perez, I think. No, that is Hülkenberg. comes into the pits for his final, what should be his final stop, and goes onto the prime tyres, and Alonso does the same. Now, both Mercedes are going to go past. Is Rosberg going to go past? Yep, Rosberg takes the net lead of this race, but Rosberg will have to stop again as he's not used the soft tyres yet in this race. That pretty much counts Rosberg out for any chance of winning this race. So Alonso come out ahead of Bianchi there with, I believe that's Kvyat and Magnussen just behind. Magnussen currently leads this race. Actually no, Ricciardo leads this race currently, as he's coming to the pits now along with Magnussen and Perez. And the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton as well. So Hamilton's actually, although Hamilton's has to do the extra stop, he's caught up pretty well because he's now back in sync with the cars who are at the front of this race. He comes out just behind them, so Hamilton's back in sync. Don't know about Rosberg though. As Gutierrez comes in for his second stop, I believe. Goes on to the super soft tyres for the end of this race. Everyone else making their second stops now, or third stops. So Rosberg leads this race currently from Hülkenberg second and Raikkonen third. Both Raikkonen and Rosberg both are yet to make their final pit stops. So the battle for net second is right here between Ricciardo and Alonso. There's Magnussen right behind, along with Perez and Hamilton. Hamilton definitely think that second place is on the cards here. Just depends how quick you can get past all of these other cars first. Well, they're all DRSing each other, so it's not going to be too easy for Hamilton. You see there, with Perez's DRS off the back of Magnussen, saved him from being overtaken there by Hamilton. Now can Hamilton make a move here? Weaving around all behind Perez, but can't find a way to make Perez make a mistake and make the move. Once again, Perez's DRS stops Hamilton from trying to make an overtake. Rosberg still yet to make his final stop, which he's doing now actually. So this will put Hülkenberg back in the lead of this race, and will give Hülkenberg and Force India their first ever win if he can stay there. See there on the steering wheel. Rosberg now goes onto the prime tyres for the last 4 or 5 laps of this race, and now so does Raikkonen as well. So, this Bianchi can come out ahead of them? Yes, then that is 4th position. Raikkonen's going to come out behind one of the TYRES, is he? Not quite, but can you hold it up here though? And one of the Saubers looks to be making a move on Sebastian Vettel. No, it sticks behind for now. That's Gutierrez in fact. Looks to make a move on Sebastian Vettel. Massa's now back up to 11th. Hamilton's now cleared Magnussen, and so is Perez. So now Hamilton's right on the back of Perez, looking to take 4th place. As Alonso goes up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, Hamilton looks to make the move on Perez, but gets a bit of oversteer on the exit, which gives Perez a slightly better run and Magnussen the best one of all three of them to try and make a move back, try and take 4th place. Now they'll go back to single file. Now Alonso's retaken 2nd place, with the Caterham of Kamui Kobayashi just in between. He could still play part in who comes 2nd or 3rd even. It's not over till you cross the finish line. Not long left in this race, probably another 2 laps left in this race. And Hamilton's still behind Perez. So Alonso manages to clear the Caterham, but the Caterham crucially holds up Daniel Ricciardo, which gives Alonso a bit of space, but it also gives Ricciardo DRS. Perez looks to make the move back on Hamilton into the first corner. And a bit of contact there, but Hamilton keeps the position. Now with the slipstream, can Perez look to make a move back on Hamilton? Thinks about it, but doesn't make the dive bomb. I think that should be Hamilton ahead now. Hülkenberg still in the lead. Now Kobayashi has got Hamilton, Perez and Magnussen to contend with as they come up right behind. After such a promising start for Kobayashi, he's down to last. And Hamilton gets past relatively cleanly. Now it's just Perez and Magnussen. Ricciardo looks to make the move back on Alonso into the first corner. Alonso just holds it around the outside, gets the better exit, and holds the position onto the final lap of the race. Hülkenberg still in the lead. Alonso looks like they're going to take 2nd, Ricciardo still 3rd. Or can Hamilton even get involved? But where's Hamilton would make the overtake though? On our last lap. Not really any chances where he could make a move if he does catch up. Rosberg now finally gets past Kobayashi. Throughout all the battles, throughout everything that's happened in this race, Nico Hülkenberg is going to come around the final corner to win the 2014 Austrian Grand Prix for Force India Mercedes.
Nico Hülkenberg really deserved to win today's race. He pulled out all the stops in an immaculate performance. That's P1 for the Force India driver.
Just confirming there that Hülkenberg did win the race. Alonso just held on to 2nd with Ricciardo 3rd, Hamilton 4th, Magnussen 5th, Rosberg 6th, Perez down to 7th with a 5-second penalty, Raikkonen 8th, Vettel 9th, Gutierrez takes the final points position in 10th place. After the Bianchi, unfortunately, that amazing one-stop got a penalty and was demoted to 11th place, with Massa down to 12th, Van 13th, Button 14th, Kvyat down to 15th, Grosjean 16th, then Bottas, Sutil, Maldonado, Kobayashi Ericsson with that engine blowout, and Max Chilton also retired from this race. So that's been the Austrian Grand Prix. A lot of action in that race, but probably not for the right reasons. We saw there with Rosberg's puncture at the end of the first lap, and those tyres had only done 4 laps of the race, given the qualifying laps as well. So only 1 real lap of racing, 2, was put on those tyres. And to get a puncture after that, that's something that Pirelli would definitely need to look into for the next race. So hopefully you enjoyed this race. I definitely did. Probably one of the best of the season in my opinion. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.